Oh, you ready to shoot?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Gilly's Guns. So I'm back out on the range today with the Mini 14. I did my video yesterday and the scope broke yesterday evening. It was too dark to be out here shooting anyway, but I wanted to give it a try. And well, that scope broke, so I decided that I better dig into my old unused box of scopes and pull something out to put back on here. And I was actually in a rush because I went down to collect my target last night and I was shooting these 77 grain reloads, and this thing actually put 3 in the same hole. And I've never had a Mini 14 that would shoot like that at all. And so I thought maybe I found the magic load. So I really want to try it out again. So I got this new scope on it. It's not new. This came out of the used bin that was very used. This is a Bush & L AR-223 3 to 12 power. And I'm getting ate up by flies, but anyway, 3 to 12 power. It's fine. It actually fits on here pretty well, so we'll see how it shoots. It does look good. It's a pretty nice clear scope, but it's definitely not a target scope. Let's get started with our ammo test here. I believe I got everything sighted in. The barrel's still warm. I mean, I think I shot 15 rounds through it, and it's been sitting here for about 5 minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot some more. I think it's, if the rifle is not accurate when it's hot, that's more important to me than the rifle being cold. I do want to know where the first shot, cold bore shot goes, but for now, I think we just go ahead and try it out. I'm going to start off, this is the 77 grain reloads, and these are loaded with 21.7 grains of IMR 3031 and a Sierra Match King 77 grain bullet. So let's see how they do. Shooting at the target on the top left that's got the pasty on it. If the pasty falls off, it's covering a bullet hole, but I'll just continue shooting the same spot. Well, it looks like those all went low and left. I'm going to leave my scope set right where it's at because I kind of want to see what the point of impact shift is between these bullets. So we'll try some of these razor cores. Bottom left target. Well, those all went consistently left. Scope's still tight. Let's see. The next load is 69 grain Oh, these are Nosler Custom Competition 69 grain bullets. Kind of a target or match bullet. Let's see if I got my reloading data on here. Okay, these are loaded with H335, 23 and a half grains. Take that with a grain of salt. I don't want you taking my load data as gospel. Going to the top right target, excuse me. Hope I don't hit my GoPro. Everything's going left, so I think it's fair to say I need to move it to the right. But the elevation was correct with the 69s. So next, let's see. We have 64 grain Spear Gold dots. I think this would be a good deer hunting bullet if it shoots. They're pretty. So we got the 64 grain gold dots. This gun's getting pretty warm, so I'm probably going to let it cool after this round. But these will be at the bottom right target. Boy, that really slings the brass. Well, I'd say they did about as good as anything else. Probably a little better. If you took the flyer out, I'd say that's under a 1-inch group. I'll measure them. But that's the best group we got down there. Alright. We'll let the rifle cool off and then we'll move to the 62 grain Russian ammunition. Alright, well the rifle's cooled down about 5 minutes. Went collecting brass. One thing about these rifles, they like to disperse the brass. It's picking it up about 30 feet over there to the right, and I only found about half what I shot, so no telling how far they're actually going. Some of them 30 feet. Alright, I'm going to be trying this 62 grain Silver Bear. I've had really good luck with this stuff for crap, you know, this is crap ammunition. And the date's in here. This was manufactured in 2009, and I think that's about when I bought it. So let's go ahead and see what it does. All of my shoot and see targets have holes in them now. So I'm going to move over to that paper on the left, and I'm going to shoot the top left dot. I did make an adjustment to the scope. So We'll see if it's the windage is correct now. Top left dot. Well, it's shooting low. Don't know. Low and left. Well, just a little bit left, but all of them went low, one target low. So, let's see. Got some 55 grainers loaded up there. But I do have one more 62 grain bullet. And these are green tips. Now, these rifles, like I said earlier, are chambered in 223. And these are 5.56 shells, but cartridges. But in my experience, you know, everybody says 5.56 is loaded hotter than 223. My experience, it's not any hotter. What it is it's loaded to a wider tolerance. So you may get some higher velocities, but you also may get lower velocities. And that's kind of the point of the 5.56 chamber, was to allow more variance in the loaded ammunition, which in a battle rifle you really want. Now this rifle being 223, the chamber's a little tighter, and I've never had any issue with these, so I don't suspect to have any now, but we'll see how it does. It's warm. Alright, moving over one target to the right. Those aren't accurate at all. I've had some bad shooting ammunition before, but those strung all three targets high. So I'd say there's a junk load right there. Let's try the 55 grainers. Moving one more target to the right. Those still group pretty wide, but they're all, you know, in the second target down. So we got one more bullet to try, and I don't expect these to group at all. These are 40 grain VMAXs that I load for my target rifle. And this gun being a 1 in 7 twist, I seriously doubt that they'll group at all. And I'm not even going to put them on paper. I'm going to shoot a steel target down there. We'll go to the big 8-inch target on the right, the red one. We'll hold dead center. Tell you though, did a little better than I thought. I'm going to come up with the scope now, let the gun cool down, and then I'm going to try the 77 grain reloads again and see how they do. One thing I see a lot of nowadays that's popular is one-shot zero. And, you can just fire one shot and then adjust your scope over to that bullet without moving your rifle. Adjust your scope over to that impact, and you're zeroed. And that's all fine and dandy if your rifle will shoot a one-hole group. But on a rifle like this, where I know it's not going to shoot a one-hole group, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ammunition that I want to zero with, which is my 77 grain reloads, and I'm going to shoot a 5-shot group, aiming at the same spot each time. And then when I'm done, I will adjust my scope to the center of that 5-shot group. And then this rifle will be centered with that load. And that's as good as I'm going to get. If that's one hole, then that's one hole. But I can tell you from experience, many 14s aren't going to do a one-hole group at 100 yards. So the 3 that I had last night, as my friend Gary said, all the stars aligned and everything just happened and they went all together. And what that means is there's a lot of luck in that. And I'm not after luck. I want to make sure my rifle is zeroed as close to the point of impact as I can get. So now that I've got it cooled down, I've got a fresh target up there in the top left corner. I'm going to shoot a 5-shot group, and then I will adjust my zero any that I have to. Now, one other thing to mention, those other groups that were going low, some of the right to left stringing could very well be a little bit of cant in the rifle, because they're not hitting my point of impact. If I've got my rifle canted just a little bit, then my point of impact is going to move to the left or the right. So that could be some of the left and right stringing that I had going on, because I don't have a level or anything on it. I'm just holding it the best I can. So anyway, let's go ahead and put 5 on there, and then I'll zero the scope and we'll be good. We'll see what it'll do. Alright, I have a high shot and a low shot, and then I have 3 that are just below the bullseye. So I'm going to adjust the scope down to, so I'm going to set it centered of where I was aiming, and then I'm going to adjust the scope down to those 3. And they're right in the middle, so that's going to be as good as it gets. Alright, now I'm going to aim for the top edge of the bullseye. See where those went. Rifle's good and warm again. So those all went above the bullseye, and they're about a 2-inch group. Kind of what you'd expect with one of these. If I let it completely cool down, I think you have 3 really consistent shots before it starts to move around. But that's just kind of the way the Mini 14 is. They have things you can do to accuratize them, but I mean, that's about as good as I've ever gotten with it, and with any Mini 14 I've ever shot. So, not to say that it's great, not to say that it's bad. Sometimes it's just the capability of the rifle, and that's what we're at. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video on the Mini 14. And if you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, I hope you get to get out on the range and do some shooting of your own.